We are here at Brink Bike Shop, an epic bike shop with epic staff, and over the years of coming here, hanging out with these guys, we've always joked about the idea of having a rad pump track right next to the bike shop. I love pump tracks, you love pump tracks, we all love pump tracks, I love building jumps. So today I'm here to build, this is day one, building Brink's mega pump track, which is going to fill this space right out here, which you're going to have to use your imagination. We're going to have a fire and burn all that stuff, but this place can be transformed because I've learned over the years, building the stuff in lockdown at my house, doing the compound rebuild this year, even a pump track I built at my compound 3 years ago, I think in 2018. I've learned a lot about what it takes to build a good one, but also working with you guys, with your ideas in the lockdown trails, I realised that this could be the most unreal homologation of ideas where we work together and build for the staff, for a lot of people to come and enjoy a sick setup right here. So there's a digger arriving in half an hour. We've got some work to do because I don't want to build your average tarmac lap. This is going to have jumps, berms, tabletops, maybe even a mulch jump. I just want to build like an epic freestyle park right here. So I don't know how we're going to get this going other than probably with a build laps. We'll see what we do. Get the digger in the ground, and then we'll start talking ideas when we've shifted some dirt. There's a lot of space here. It's probably half the size of my compound. So let's do this. Here we go. At the beginning of the video I didn't really explain the plan because we didn't have a plan, and now we have a plan, so I can show you our plan because we've built the plan. So this is the start of the pump track, and the most important thing about, I think, building a pump track in a space like this is maximising the space you have and using all of it. So this is the direction of travel. At some point we're going to build a wooden roll in here. We've had to move some of these massive concrete plant pots out of the way. So that'll make a bit of space for a wooden roll in, but we're not going to do that today because it's the most important thing right now is to make use of the 3-ton digger and the 3-ton dumper that I brought in this morning. So it's the following day from the intro, and in that day we've built these 2 rollers. Let me show you. Oh, it's also worth noting, you guys won't see this, the dirt and the ground is just terrible. I've never worked with anything so poor and so full of rubble, hardcore bricks, steel, there's just metal bars, there's concrete pillars. It's really difficult. So I had to swap the digger bucket for the tooth bucket, break the ground up. Then I found a pipe. I don't know if it's a water pipe or gas water, but I didn't break it, I found it. Put some dirt back on top of that. So we can't go very deep. So that's why I brought in a dumper, because round the other side of the big barn, the original Brink Bike Shop, there's a big pile of dirt. So I've been chipping away at that to build the 3rd boob, but that's also terrible dirt. So this entire pump track is going to be built from this, but with the dream team, myself, Ben and Jamie, who's here, what we're doing is we're raking out all the rubble, which is like a lot of the stuff you see here, until you're left with a fine pile of dirt, and then we're smacking it with shovels, wetting it, and I've got the whacker plate, which doesn't seem to work because it sticks to it, so mostly shovels. Now, here's the track. Double roller, very wide, very broad, rock hard, like it goes down really good though. When that bakes in the sun, you know as well as I do, all that hardcore is going to stiffen the ground up. So you can do a manual, you could probably jump them if you've got a mega pedal stroke on you down the roll-in. We'll see how big we make that. But you can also triple manual into what I think is a really nice feature. It's a bit like what I built in the lockdown trails, but because we've had a digger and a dumper, I've made it the size it needs to be. This angled, cambered roller boob, which is going to lead into what we're about to build next, and you can see over there what that's going to be. A nice juicy 180 berm. I sat the digger here and cut the exact radius, spinning with the digger arm, all the way around, so it's a constant radius berm, so you'll be able to rail it, come in off of that, which turns you left. It's got a bit of a tail on it to then tip you right. It'll be quite a roller coaster section, which I'm excited about. Berms require so much dirt, and when you're digging by hand, you end up building them quite small, you end up building them almost in the ground. With those two machines, I'm about to build an enormous berm. So we're going to go back into another build laps where we carry on this pump track. But when you do shape this and rake it and sieve it and make it good, it's going to look really, really nice, this pump track. When it's watered, patted, this whole place is about to transform. And I'm stoked that the first build laps has already produced that. And now this berm is going to be something really, really sick. So Jamie over there, by the way, if you're wondering what's going on, for 2 days now, we've been burning wood in a barrel. There's a huge pile of rubbish in the middle, which you saw in the intro, and that's about 10 hours solidly of burning through a barrel. We still haven't got through it, so it's kind of keeping us warm, even though we are warm. It makes us stink of smoke. We don't need that. There aren't many positives, but we'll get rid of the stuff. So, you ready to build a berm?
Yep.
Jamie, we're going to start stacking the berm.
Build the berm.
Got words out of the man. Cheers, boy. Let's do this. Build laps. That actually took way longer than anticipated. It was about 10 dumper loads from the 3-ton dumper. So that's a lot of dirt to build a berm. I always knew they'd require a lot of material, but that took ages. And digging out behind the barn, I said that this dirt was bad. That's just as bad. I dug up some tinsel, some fishing wire, a small Star Trek figurine, and this like homegrown tomato set, which sounds like all combined quite an insane party that someone's buried. So yeah, we've had to filter out so much stuff, but what remains is kind of hardcore. It's like almost MOT, which is like a building material which whacker plates really well. It's used in foundations of houses and like driveways and things. So actually when we remove all the bricks, all the big stuff, all the figurines, we can like really work with this stuff, and it shows with that roller, this new roller, the berm. If you saw in the time lapse, I cut the end off the berm and I've turned it into a cambered roller with a bit of a tilt on it, because this berm as a full 180 looked really long, and I don't think there's going to be like a chaotic amount of speed going around it, and you never want just to be rolling around a berm waiting for the next feature. You want to rip round it, so we've shortened it so you're on it for less time, then you gain a whole pump opportunity there, or in fact 2, to blast down the next straight. So in the next episode we're going to build a really cool straight where you can ride it in loads of different ways. I learned from you guys that you like things to be ridden and built where there's options, so 5 rollers can be double, triple, manual, triple, you know, so all of those things. That's what I want to encompass in this pump track, so that people of different abilities can extract a different amount of performance and a different level of enjoyment from it, and never kind of reach like a limit or a boundary of performance. So I'm excited. The wood's almost gone. Imagine how much Jamie smells of smoke.
So smoky.
He's a smoky boy. I went and bought a hose so we can wet it. I found that actually for the whacker plate to work, it has to be bone dry. That roller's the only one that me and Jamie managed to whacker plate. It has no water on it and it works. As soon as you add moisture to this stuff, the whacker plate, like literally the plate sticks to the dirt, it can't get any motion and it doesn't move. So learning curve working with this rubbish, but actually what you can see, you've got to imagine when it becomes less of a building site and it's a pump track where the grass grows and we might turf it, add a water fountain, a barbecue. This is going to be a really cool place to hang out, right by a bike shop where you can get your bike serviced. I'm going to book my bike in tomorrow when I'm back digging to get my suspension set up and serviced, which is rad. So those guys will be working on my bike while we're working out here. Ben, you need a new bottom bracket, don't you?
I've given it to them.
Oh, you have already?
Yeah.
Sneaky man, when did you do that?
That's
where you disappeared.
Lunch break.
Lunch
we
break,
went in.
yeah, right. Cool. So, yeah, I can't believe in 2 days we've accomplished this. Back at my compound, for example, in the last few months, the builds are so big that they take 2 weeks to do one thing, and we've done so many features in 2 days. So chuffed. This is great. Brink is going to have an insane pump track set up. I'm buzzing for him. So I'll see you in the next video. Legends.